Hi, my name is Lindy Wilkinson, and in this video that you're about to see, there are two different kids. They're both 6 years old and in the first grade. One has ADHD and one does not. And the goal at the end of this video is to kind of decide on what you think, which kid has ADHD and which one doesn't.
How old are you?
6.5. 6.
And what grade are you in?
First grade. First grade?
Do you like school?
Yeah.
Why do you like school?
Because I like to play with my friends at recess.
And why don't you like school?
Because I have to do a lot of stuff and my little sister's really cute and I want to spend more time with my little sister.
How long does it take you to do your homework? A long time or a short time?
Usually 5 or 10 minutes. I don't know, sort of in the middle.
Do you have a hard time with your homework?
Sometimes.
How do you do on tests?
Good. Well, I usually get A's, but not A pluses, so I don't know. And I almost get every single one right.
Well, aren't you still proud of yourself for getting A's?
I don't know, I just feel normal.
You just feel normal? You don't feel proud of yourself?
No, I just feel normal.
Okay. Do you have a lot of friends?
Yeah. No.
How do you feel about having a lot of friends?
Happy.
How do you feel about not having a lot of friends?
Lonely.
Do you get invited to parties?
Yeah. Not usually.
Do you ever get bullied?
No. Sometimes.
Do you think you are smart?
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you think you are handsome?
Yeah.
Do you think you are pretty?
Sometimes.
What do you like about yourself?
How smart I am and how good I draw. I like myself because I like Jesus and God and they're really important.
Is there anything that you dislike about yourself?
Sometimes I be bad,
How do you be bad?
like giving attitude to my mom.
Why do you think you give attitude?
I don't know, sometimes I just get into moods. It depends on how good the day is. When I have a bad day, then I get all grumpy and negative. And when I have a good day, then I get all positive and happy.
What do you want other kids like your age to know that don't have ADHD? What do you want them to know about the kids that do have ADHD?
That they are better at listening than them, and that they could help them.
And how can they help the kids with ADHD?
By telling them that whatever you do, it's still right because you tried your best.
ADHD is the attention deficient hyperactive disorder. It is one of the most common mental disorders affecting children today in education.
Hi, my name is Leland Miller. I am conducting an interview with my wife, Amy Miller, on dealing with the students with ADHD. Ms. Miller is a science teacher here in the Big Country area. Can you please tell us what age group you teach and how long you have been teaching?
I've taught 10th grade. I currently teach 11th and 12th grade, and this is my 6th year of teaching.
Do you know if a student How do you know if a student has some form of ADHD?
It's usually in their IEP, so I look at that at the beginning of the year and then throughout the year. Um, I have an all about me sheet that I ask them to fill out, and the last question on there is optional, and it asks, is there anything else you would like for me to know? And that gives them the opportunity to write in there, hey, I have this special need, and this is how I address it. Otherwise, it's an open door policy, and they can come talk to me whenever.
What accommodations do you make for these students?
I do preferential seating. I try to put them wherever they learn best. If their IEP says that they need to be seated somewhere in particular, then I do that. If they need to stand up, walk around, then they're welcome to do that as long as we've talked about it ahead of time. I also, if they function better orally, then I can do an open verbal answer and question, and I give them extra time if I feel like they really need it.
Do you give any physical activity breaks, such as getting up, walking around, going to get drinks of water, things like that?
The way I have my class structured is a little bit different this year. Usually I take care of housekeeping stuff while they're settling in. Then I do a lesson, maybe at max 15 minutes. I ask that they stay seated unless we have something worked out ahead of time to where we both know it's okay for them to move around. Otherwise, if they're doing independent work, group work, a lab, they're doing a Google Classroom activity, then they're allowed to get up and take breaks whenever they want to or need to.
Do you use some special form of signal to help refocus your students with ADHD?
I do. I kind of let them go at first, and then if I see that we need one, then I'll meet with them one-on-one and ask what we can do to make sure that they're successful in the classroom. Otherwise, if we don't have one preset, then I'll go and I'll move closer to that student to where I can give them a signal and be in close proximity to let them know, hey, you need to refocus.
Okay. What are some visuals you have around your classroom to help your students with important information for the day, such as schedules for the day, assignments, and rules?
Okay, well, my classroom expectations and guidelines are set up all year long on the wall in the same place. When they come in every day, I have this set at the beginning of every class period. It has the date on there. It tells them what they're doing, what they need, and then any information that I think that they need to know about. I also try to put something on there that either has to do with that lesson, is something funny, or an inspirational quote that will kind of get their attention.
Does your students with ADHD have issues working on group work? If so, how do you overcome these issues?
It really depends on the kid. The student, sometimes they work better together because they hold each other accountable, and it keeps that student more engaged to be conversing or working with others. Otherwise, if they work independently, then they find something that keeps them focused. So it really just depends on that student.
Thank you very much.
It is a neurobehavioral condition that interferes with a person's ability to pay attention and exercise age-appropriate inhibition. It is a brain-based syndrome that has to do with the regulation of a particular set of brain functions and related behaviors. It is a highly genetic disorder that occurs in both men and women, and in most cases persists throughout the lifespan. ADHD affects about 3 to 5% of American children, which is about 2 million children in the schoolroom. ADHD has three main characteristics for its symptoms: inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. ADHD symptoms may appear over many months, with impulsiveness and hyperactivity usually occurring before inattention. Some symptoms of inattention are making careless mistakes and lacking attention to detail, difficulty paying attention in class, or being unorganized during activities and tasks. Symptoms of hyperactivity include tapping of hands and feet, not remaining in your seat when you're supposed to, or interrupts or intrudes with others during class time. Now, there are ways to treat ADHD and to help cope with the disability. There has been research done that shows the most effective treatment is a combination of medication and therapy. Medication serves to manage brain-based functions, while therapy helps with daily thoughts, behaviors, and coping strategies.
As you know, there are myths and facts about every disorder. So some of the myths with kids with ADHD are that they're hyperactive, they don't ever pay attention, they can behave if they wanted to, they could if they wanted to behave better, that they could, that kids will eventually grow out of ADHD, and that medication is the best option. The facts to these are that medication is often prescribed for attention deficient disorder, but it might not be the best option for that child, just because if you have proper nutrition and therapy and support at home, that this can also fix it more than just giving your child medication. Another fact is that ADHD often continues into adulthood, so you don't want to wait for your child to just outgrow it before treatment can start, before the actual symptoms in adulthood become really apparent. Children with ADHD may do their best to be good, but still unable to sit and stay quiet. They may appear to be disobedient, but that does not mean that they're always acting out on purpose. After watching this video, we hope that you guys can kind of know a little bit more about ADHD, what it really is, some myths and facts about it, how it affects students, how a teacher in real world goes about handling her students, and how we can go about it in our future practice with our students, not only just in the classroom but also in real life and dealing with people different than you. Don't just kind of shun them to the side. Let them know that they are still people too, and that they deserve just as much attention as any other student.